One of the beauties of animation is that anything can happen. Wouldn't it be interesting if a whale could fly? And it seemed to me the only way that was ever going to work was if it was done in a kind of photorealistic style. That these were real whales where you could see the enormous bulk and weight of these animals and that you could simultaneously believe they were capable of flight. Just a monstro kind of a whale, it's too easy, you know. Sure, he can fly because you can draw him flying, but if it's a real whale, wait a minute. It kind of kept the notion, this interesting combination of reality and fantasy together in a nice kind of way.
We watched a lot of video reference of real whales swimming and breaching out of the water. I think that's where a lot of our ideas came from. The baby whale in particular, he's a little bit more expressive than a real whale would be, so his motions get a little more exaggerated, a little more playful, a little more character than a real whale might have.
It's supposed to be a realistic piece, a realistic look for the whales and the environment. So we used a combination of elements, some realistic elements and some design elements. And part of that design was with the color, which was very saturated, very rich. It allowed us to try to blend the two worlds together, the computer-generated characters and the traditionally painted backgrounds, so they could kind of meet somewhere in the middle.
We really bridged 2D and 3D animation techniques. The challenge was trying to blend traditional animation effects with computer-generated whales that were realistic looking. And you really had to bring the two together in order to make it believable for the audience. And I think we achieved that.
We had a lot of specialized software that we had to create. There was a lot of difficult problems that hadn't been solved fully at the point that we started working on the whales. We had problems with wrinkling on the skin, and we had to get rid of all those wrinkles so that the whale looked nice and smooth. So we created a special customized way to remove all wrinkles. We also had problems with getting the water to look like it was really moving in reaction to the whales. So we did something really innovative in that. We created a wavelet-driven particle system to cause these ripples to come out from the whale and to extend outward into the water. Then we'd give effects, plotted reference of that so that they could draw on top of our water and make the two work together seamlessly.
At the time that we were doing Pines of Rome, which was 94, 95, we just didn't have the ability to get the expressiveness out of the eyes through CG that we could by doing it traditionally. So we went down the road of doing those eyes as traditional animation and adding them onto the 3D whales.
We had some penguins in there in the beginning. We sort of wanted to set these whales flying around at the point of view of some other character, just to try to set up a little playful element. The little baby whale would fly around and chase the penguins back in the water. They'd always try to get up onto the ice to watch these whales, you know, flying around. So in this case, the penguins were dropped out, and we just concentrated on the family itself, the father whale and mother whale, and made the baby whale more of the central character. We were trying to think of what to do with these whales once they got up in the air. Everybody seemed to feel at that time that, well, it kind of feels odd that we have these whales flying, and then where do they go? They've got to come back to Earth. So we storyboarded it that way. It never quite felt right. It wasn't quite feeling good to us, and yet we were going forward with it. And the idea came up of them just going through this cloud ceiling and bursting out of a whole new ocean surface, whole new different world with the supernova there. And we put it to real, and it was the right thing to do.
All of us had our own little ideas going into it of what it was going to look like in the end. And when I look at it on the film, it's not what anybody imagined. It's not any single person's vision of the film, but it's really a great culmination of all these different visions. And it's so beautiful all on its own. It's like an unexpected surprise seeing it on film, and it's satisfying to everybody that's seen it.